You are live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I call to order the Planning Board for Thursday, May 8th, 2025. The first item on our agenda, the minutes of February 13th. Do we have any questions or corrections? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve. Do I have that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. The next item is the public hearing of 26 Jericho Road, the Gladys Collier Trust. Is, who would like?
I'm going to go ahead.
Oh, yes, that's right. Go ahead.
Application of 26 Jericho Partners LLC and Gladys W. Collier Revocable Trust, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 301-12-2-13 for subdivision approval in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 252, Subdivision of Land to divide 305,611 square foot parcel into 3 lots, all containing 101,870 square feet and scenic easements covering 35% of each lot. Access to Lot 1 and Lot 2 is proposed via a shared common driveway off Jericho Road, and access to Lot 3 is proposed via a single driveway off Cove Hollow Road. The existing and proposed lot configurations are depicted on a subdivision plot titled Minor Subdivision Jericho Hollow, prepared by George Walbridge Surveyors, PC, last revised October 30th, 2024. The subject property is located at 26 Jericho Road and is in Residence District R80. This project is classified as an unlisted action in accordance with SECRA, and the Planning Board has adopted a negative declaration.
Thank you. And the parties are here. Tom Osborne, would you like to? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like
Robert, so you're going to vote on opening the hearing?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's vote on opening the hearing. Do I have a first, do I have a vote?
I'll make a motion, sure.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Could you just introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Denise Shern. I'm a partner at the Adam Miller Group in Bridgehampton, New York, and I'm here today on behalf of the applicant in connection with the subdivision.
Okay.
As the board may recall, we've been before you for the past couple of months, showing you a plan to subdivide property at the corner of Jericho and Cove Hollow Road. It's 7 acres. It's has sort of a rolling topography to it. There are 2 existing structures on it, which we plan to have removed. We've proposed to divide it into 3 lots of 101,000 square feet each. Each lot could accommodate a house, an ADU unit. Each lot also has a scenic easement, which represents 35% of each one of those lots. So we've preserved 35% of the property. We've proposed for 2 of the lots to share a common driveway and 1 of the lots to take access right off of the road. The rationale behind that was to make sure that the common driveway didn't have to be built to greater or higher specs than just a country lane sort of driveway. We also wanted to make sure that the scenic easements were kept contiguous and uninterrupted. So that's the rationale behind the individual driveway for 1 of the lots. That is a summary of the application. I'd be happy to answer any questions or elaborate further.
Board members, any questions, or public? Any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Tom.
Good morning. Tom Osborne from Osborne and McGowan PC, 135 Main Street, East Hampton, New York. On behalf of the neighbor who is, if you're on Cove Hollow, it's the first on the left in the front, Mr. and Mrs. Peck. I'd written a letter back in January. Just like to reiterate, my client still would like to have the driveway for that last lot, I think it's lot number 3, moved about 15 feet farther away from their property if that's possible. Or, well, not possible, if you would like that to be done. It's really for aesthetics. I understand the board wants to keep that stretch of woodland along Cove Hollow intact as long as possible, but I would think that if it was moved 15 feet further away, it would still be quite a long length and really not have any substantial impact on that aspect. It would also serve to keep driveways further apart because their driveway, they bought the property, was already built, it was a spec house. Their driveway is right up against their line, which if they were to design it these days, it was new, who knows if they would do that, but that's what they're stuck with. When I drove by this morning, on the other side of my client's lot, further down the street, there are 3 driveways right in a row, about 10 feet away from each other. That doesn't look good. The way it's set up now, you'd have 2 driveways right next to each other. The other point that I was making in the letter had to do with trees. There are, or at least there's one very large tree that looks like it would have to come down. It's maybe at most 15 feet from my client's property line, right in that 20-foot strip. And it was moved over, that tree would be saved, and also other trees that might be impacted. And moving it looked like there'd be much smaller trees that'd be impacted. That's really the only comment. My client has no problem with the map at all, other than that issue.
Any other questions, comments? Billy, would you? Yes. Yes. Would you like to say anything?
They're the property
Oh, you're the owners. You're the owners. Anyone else? Would you like to say anything? No? Okay.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Billy Hajak for the village. I understand Tom's concern or request. The impetus behind, as Denise described, is to try to keep the scenic easements in a contiguous block. I think shifting it over 15 feet, you're going to end up with a 15-foot wide or a 6-foot wide or 8-foot wide strip of land between the property line and the common driveway. That's, I don't think it, from a planning perspective, good planning is to try to keep blocks of open space contiguous and in one large piece. So I don't, in terms of removal of one large tree or, some large trees, we don't have them on the survey, so it's hard to say exactly if 15 feet or 10 feet is going to be enough to save the tree. I don't know. You'd almost have to have it located to figure that out. But I think if the board was truly concerned about screening or buffering, I think you could make the common driveway 25 feet wide, and then that would give them an extra 5 feet of wiggle room and maybe a little bit more ability to screen, and it would get the curb cut a little bit further away from the neighbor so that they're not right adjoining one another. But, having single driveways next to one another in the village is not uncommon. So that's just my own personal comment on it.
And in the past, we haven't had a necessity to put the driveway in the plans because it wasn't going to be any impacted road. Single driveway would go through ZBA, I thought.
No, the single drive, they're showing the flag strip. What they're showing is just the portion of the lot that's not going to be burdened by a scenic easement. So the driveway and the utilities have to go in there. That's the only reason it's shown like that on the map. So you could widen it to 25 feet, I suppose, and then that would give a little bit more buffering to the neighbor. You'd lose a little bit of scenic easement, but,
Billy, can you remind of the minimum width of the actual driveway?
The driveway width is, there's no minimum or maximum. State code, I think, is 12 feet. If that's correct. 12 feet. But it has to be a 12-foot wide cleared width. So.
I like the idea of the wider driveway, and then.
A wider area,
Yes,
so less easement on that lot.
That would look much better. Board members, what do you think?
I agree.
You agree? Yeah.
I was up there yesterday, and I just noticed that the driveway of the neighbor's house is 16 feet wide. Mm-hmm. And then there's a curtain of about 4 foot of lawn that leads up to a hedge, that divides the property. And the hedge is very thick hedge. There's very good plantings in between the two properties, and if the new property owner came in and put, you know, a hedge or trees or whatever along that same property line, I think it kind of eliminates, you know, for me, it would eliminate the concerns. It would relieve them anyway, because there is a decent amount of property between the house and the property line now. I think at least 30 feet before the first part of the house. So, and you know, as you say, a lot of the houses in the village, much closer than that. My house certainly is. So, you know, I'm happy with the plan as it's laid out, proposed.
Okay. Dennis, you,
I agree with Dave Driscoll.
okay, and,
So I just sort of, what's at stake as far as we're thinking about potentially widening the easement for the driveway, which would reduce some of the, scenic portion, or not? And we're seeing, sounds like we're happy with the current plan is.
May I speak, just to interject? I'm Britton Bistrian, I'm the land planner on this
I'll have
application.
to swear you in.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Britton Bistrian, 21 Napeag Harbor Road, Amagansett, New York.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Because the driveway on paper is 20 feet, but we really probably will have something more akin to a residential driveway, as we said, it was probably 12 feet or maybe 14 feet. The board could condition that we, of that 20-foot easement, keep it the same, and we shift it to the east? Yes.
Yeah.
Furthest away from Tom's client, so that we'd have that balance, that 8 feet that could be planted, and it would give him at least half of the separation that he's asking for. It might be a good compromise. So we could put that as a condition of the approval, that the driveway had to be whatever that, I think it's the east side, that we had to push it to the east side of the easement, the improved driveway.
okay. How do you all feel about that?
That's a better solution.
I think so too.
Extra wide, it's a compromise in the middle.
I would vote too.
And that's an 8-foot, you said you're looking for? East?
Well, it's 20, and we probably would improve 12 at least, so it would give you a balance of 8.
Okay. I would agree. I think that that's a good solution. Board members, do you agree?
Fair compromise?
Yes.
And just to clarify, that maintains the equal 35% of the property for scenic easement of each one.
That's correct.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Well, you're just closing the record.
I'll just close the record. Okay. So let's close the record. Do I have a motion to also close the record? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay. Thank you. This concludes our agenda for today. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Great. Thank you.